Hey everybody, Tommy here. I've got a really great video for you today because we are talking about the Nissan Frontier Pro 4X, a truck which I think doesn't get enough attention. It doesn't get the respect it deserves because this is the hidden gem in the mid-size four-wheel drive off-road truck segment. The Pro 4X offers so much value in 2023 compared to a lot of its competition, and in this video we're going to talk about why this truck definitely is worthy of your look and potentially your hard-earned dollars. So let's talk about this truck, right? The Frontier. Now, the previous gen Frontier had been around for so many years, it kind of became the butt of many jokes, but then for 2022, Nissan went ahead and completely redid the truck. And when we talk about pricing, right, the Pro 4X, the off-road trim of the Frontier, currently starts in the high 30s, low $40,000 range. This truck with just about every bell and whistle, topping 46 grand. Now, that's a lot of money. There's no getting around that. It's still $46,000. But what you got to consider is a lot of the new off-road trucks in this segment, specifically the GM twins, the Canyon, the Colorado. If you get the ZR2 models, if you get the Trail Boss models, oftentimes you're looking at 50 grand plus, and a top spec with all the goodies, you're going to be pushing $64,000. And the Frontier offers a lot of the same off-road goodies for mid $40,000 range. So let's start out by talking about the design of this truck. So I think it's pretty good. I love that they haven't gone too round, they haven't gone too bubbly. This truck still feels very squared off and very butch. So in the front here, we've got this black grille with Frontier stamped in the actual grille surround. Nissan logo there, surrounded with the orange trim. And then up front, we do have sensors for the adaptive cruise, and then tow points, recovery points down below in the fascia. Pretty well integrated. One thing I really don't like about the front end design of this truck is actually the bash plate. So one thing you'll notice is just about any Pro 4X that has been taken off-road to at least some extent will have a bash plate which is a little bit askew, and you can kind of see that on this truck. Now, of course, this is a media truck, it's been driven pretty hard, but we're out here actually running the Mojave Trail, and the vast majority of these media trucks at this point have a bash plate which is off center. Now, there is a pretty large gap there between the actual bash plate and the structure underneath, and what I find is that that is too easily, in my opinion, dented and kind of squished up, and you end up with this kind of awkward look to the front skid plate there. But at least it is a skid plate, so I'm complaining about the look of it, but clearly it's doing its job. Underbody protection throughout this truck as well, from the front to the back, over the fuel tank, that kind of thing. Now, moving along to the side, we'll talk about the wheel tire combo. Pro 4X 17-inch wheel, so I like that they're keeping the wheel small. They're not going to some massive 19-20-inch thing with the little bit of paint for a tire. Now, we're rolling on a set of Hankook tires. These are pretty good. The Dyno Pro AT2 in this case, pretty decent tire. It's not my all-time favorite all-terrain. I find that the forward bite isn't quite as good as some of its competitors from BFG, for example, or even Falcon, but a pretty decent tire out of the box. Now, this 17-inch wheel design, we do have simulated bead lock looks there, but these are not functional. Of course, you can't sell a new truck with functional bead locks. I'd love it if the Nissan team would incorporate rocker protection alongside the Pro 4X here. I think that would be a nice addition to keep that shiny bodywork looking good. And then out back, cool Pro 4X badging here. Really nice design. And then I love the rear of the Frontier. I think this is really where this truck shines. So first of all, Frontier stamped into the tailgate. Big Pro 4X badging. Excuse the dirt on this one. We've been out off-roading all day, having a ton of fun. And then let's talk about some of the bed functionality. So first of all, tailgate. Damped, very nice. We've got bed liner here on the back of the tailgate. We've got pretty good space in the rear of the truck. We've got the cargo rail system, not only along the sides of the bed, but also against the bulkhead here. Incorporates a lot of tie downs. Then we have integrated tie downs on the rear and then up at the front, and not a lot of intrusion from the wheel wells either. So if you're looking to haul large, haul heavy, that is a nice touch. Now back here, we do have onboard power, not a huge amount of wattage, 400 watts max with the 3 prongs. And when we talk about towing capability, we're looking at 6,600 pounds in that region for towing capacity. So not quite what the Ranger can do, but definitely on par with its rivals from Toyota. Now, coming along the side here, single exhaust port out the back, Pro 4X badging along the bedside. And one thing I really like about this truck is the use of LEDs, not only in the front, but in the rear. And then, of course, we do have the fog lights down there These vents, not real, but still a good look. You know, for a while there, and even to this day, other manufacturers incorporate fake hood scoops and hood bulges. The Frontier, nice and elegant there on the approach. Now, talking powertrain, only one engine available, 3.8 liter V6, actually debuted in the previous generation of the Frontier, but very powerful engine, 310 horsepower. So one of the more powerful options on the market. And then torque, we're looking at just over 280. Ooh, this is gonna be a little tricky with one hand. There we go. So you can see that there. Now the old Frontier, of course, utilized the 4 liter. Not a very large hood opening, a pretty small hood opening actually overall. Oops, someone's setting off alarms there. But the really good engine. I love the performance of this V6. It has a lot of good low-end torque. So unlike, for example, the Tacoma, you're not always revving the heck out of it to get it into this power band. Even at 1500, 2000 RPM, it's pretty responsive. Now let's step onto the inside of the Frontier. Now, especially compared to like the new Colorado Canyon, I do think that this interior, not quite as technologically advanced, but if you are looking for a good, simple, durable interior, this is definitely your truck. Excuse some of the mess. Once again, we've been out here having some fun on the trail, but let's go ahead and boot the truck up. First of all, we're greeted by leather-wrapped steering wheel there with, of course, a new Nissan emblem. I actually love the gauges. So in a world where everything is going to digital gauges, we still have an analog tach, still have an analog temperature gauge, speedometer, and fuel gauge, but that's perfectly fine with me because the center screen still provides all the information you really need. Fuel economy, you've got driving data, auxiliary gauges there. I would love if they would actually give you the temperature instead of just a little range, but that's okay. And then, of course, you've got your four-wheel drive configuration, and there's also the off-road pages there, which will change depending on the four-wheel drive mode. Four-wheel drive selector, four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, and four-wheel drive low. And then to the left here, we have hill descent control and the all-important rear differential lock. So it doesn't have a front locker. It doesn't have some of the crazy new like crawl control systems, trail terrain systems that you might expect from Toyota, from Ford, from some of the other manufacturers. But in my opinion, the best thing you can do, for low, rear locker on, and just drive. That's always been my philosophy. Now, apart from that, pretty simple dash design. I'd like a little bit more contrast here, maybe some contrasting stitching, maybe some contrast in the overall panels, but the best part about the Frontier from an interior standpoint is the ease of functionality. So the Nissan screen here, 9-inch display, and super quick, super fast, super easy to use, and I love the colors. They really have done a nice job in making this a good screen to look at. Even like the map colors, very crisp, very easy to kind of navigate as well. And we have volume and two knobs. One thing I'm not a big fan of is the knobs do get a little loose, and they are easy to pull out altogether. I'm sure that's a problem no one else has faced, but it's just makes it feel a little bit cheap. But I love this screen. Big props to Nissan for designing the system. Apple CarPlay, all the likes there. Below that, dual zone automatic climate control. Once again, super simple, easy to use, very great to use in gloves when you're on the move. You're not futzing through screens to find it right there where you need it. You got heated seats, heated steering wheel, USB-C and USB-A. Pretty good center size cup holder there. Nice chunky shifter, and then back here, wireless charger. Not my favorite wireless charger. You really got to get your phone in the right position for it to work. We also have the 10-speaker Fender audio system, and then sunroof there, and then you can see power sunroof. Push and open that to engage, and then in the back we do have a rear sliding window via that little manual switch there. But not the flashiest interior, but offers a lot of good tech, adaptive cruise control in this truck, right? Heated seats, the heated steering wheel, so pretty decent in terms of the tech that it offers, at least for the dollar, right? Now, as we come into the rear here, you can kind of see how we are storing our stuff on this trip. We are with Nissan, driving, as I mentioned, the Mojave Road. It's been an amazing trip so far, and we are out here at this old train stop along Route 66. It's called Goff's. This area also was used during World War II as a desert training center. So they taught a lot of soldiers how to be ready for war during World War II, specifically like the war in Northern Africa. And it's this fantastic stop, fantastic museum, definitely worth a look if you are in the area along Route 66. Now, rear seat room, this is my driving position. Let me scoot the front seat back here a little bit so we kind of have a better interpretation of that. Power driver's seat, manually adjusted passenger seat. I'd also love lumbar controls on both seats. So you can see we have it here for the driver, but not for the passenger. Rear seat room, a little tight in terms of leg room. This seat certainly could come forward a little bit and that person could still be comfortable. We do have USB-C and USB-A ports along with the power outlet, 400 watts again, and then headroom. I'm 6 feet tall, not bad, pretty decent headroom. Overall. And then this model we have, full rubber mats. I also like this pattern there in the back of the seats. Seat does fold down there as well. And then you do have a small center armrest like that. But even though on paper this truck doesn't pack the fanciest engine or the most off-road gear or the highest towing numbers, when you consider that going into 2023, when most trucks now, be it mid-size, full-size, HD, are going to be pushing 50 grand, 46K, basically fully loaded, mid to high 40s, get a lot of built-in Nissan quality. I love the ease of use on this truck. You're never fumbling with anything. You're never overthinking things. And it's an attractive design that I think will last you well and serve you well for many years. And the Pro 4X, once again, not the flashiest off-road truck out there, but it's a good, solid runner on all sorts of terrain. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This has been Tommy, and we'll see you in another episode of the Fast Lane Truck. Check out TFLtruck.com if you want to find more news, views, and real-world truck reviews.